In the realm of cinema, stories inspired by true events often catch audiences' attention, drawing them into dramatic narratives that blend fact and fiction. While many films aim to portray real-life figures and events authentically, they frequently take creative liberties that lead to significant historical inaccuracies. Welcome to this exploration of movies based on true stories that got many details wrong, whether due to embellishment, compression of events, or outright fabrication. 1. The Untouchables, Eliot Ness's meeting with Al Capone. One of the most iconic crime dramas, The Untouchables, directed by Brian De Palma, highlights the legendary confrontation between Eliot Ness, a prohibition agent, and the notorious gangster Al Capone. The film, inspired by the memoirs co-authored by Ness, depicts a fierce rivalry filled with dramatic confrontations, where Ness's team bravely opposes Capone's empire of crime. However, the film exaggerates the rivalry and creates scenes that never occurred in reality. For instance, one pivotal scene features Ness confronting Capone in a hotel lobby, making a dramatic assertion of power by punching one of Capone's men and challenging Capone himself. In truth, no such encounter ever took place. The closest Ness and Capone came to interacting was in 1932 when Ness and other agents escorted Capone from the Cook County Jail to Dearborn Station. There is no documented evidence of them exchanging even a word, let alone engaging in a dramatic showdown. The filmmakers took liberties to enhance the storytelling and dramatize the fierce battle against organized crime, creating intense scenarios that resonate well with fictional narratives, but diverge drastically from the reality of these historical figures. 2. Bohemian Rhapsody, Freddie Mercury's diagnosis. Bohemian Rhapsody, the biopic about the legendary band Queen, features notable performances, particularly that of Rami Malek as Freddie Mercury. While the film shines a light on Mercury's contributions to music and his remarkable yet tumultuous life, it distorts key aspects of his health and diagnosis regarding AIDS. Within the timeline of the film, Mercury reveals his AIDS diagnosis to his bandmates shortly before their history-making performance at Live Aid in 1985, asking them to keep it secret to focus on their music. However, this fictionalized moment does not align with actual events. In reality, Mercury was diagnosed with HIV in 1987, 2 years after the Live Aid concert took place. Symptoms had begun to manifest in the early 80s, yet the rest of the band and even many close friends were unaware of his condition until much later. By altering this detail, the film conflates significant milestones of Mercury's life, but detracts from the severe reality of his illness and its impact on his legacy. The Iron Claw, the Von Erich Brothers. The Iron Claw is a biographical drama surrounding the Von Erich brothers, a prominent family in wrestling history who faced ultimate tragedies. While the film does portray the struggles and triumphs of the five brothers, it overlooks the existence of a sixth brother, Chris Von Erich. Chris was indeed the youngest brother, and while he may not have been as deeply involved in wrestling, he pursued a career in the industry, facing medical issues that hindered his ability to engage actively. Significant struggles related to mental health and substance abuse led to Chris's tragic end by suicide in 1991, much like his brother Kerry's demise 2 years prior. Director Sean Durkin commented on the absence of Chris in the film, stating that his inclusion may have overly complicated the narrative. Although staying focused on the four well-known brothers, this decision erases a vital part of the family's legacy and further emphasizes a sanitized version of their story, denying audiences the full weight of their shared experiences. Michael O'Hare entered into a conservatorship with the Tuahees that allowed them to make business decisions on his behalf. Eventually, in 2023, O'Hare sought to dissolve that conservatorship, claiming that the Tuahee financial exploitation and the true essence of familial love and support. Rather than sticking to the heartwarming narrative the film presents, O'Hare's real-life fictions. Schindler's List, the misleading title. Schindler's List, directed by Steven Spielberg, serves as a powerful tribute to Oskar Schindler's life-saving actions during the Holocaust. The film captures the horrifying atrocities faced by Jews under Nazi oppression, blending dramatic storytelling with emotional resonance. However, a significant error resides in its title and portrayal of the famous list of Jewish workers that Schindler saved from concentration camps. Throughout the film, Schindler and his accountant, Itzhak Stern, are depicted as working on a singular, iconic list. In reality, Schindler was involved in compiling several lists, with historian David M. Crow stating that there could have been as many as 9 involved. One such list was the responsibility of a Jewish man named Marcel Goldberg, revealing a wider network at play beyond Schindler's direct actions. This oversimplification emphasizes an individual hero at the expense of acknowledging the collective efforts that contributed to the rescue of so many lives during a harrowing chapter of history. In distilling complex events into a singular narrative, the film risks overshadowing the countless others involved in these efforts. 6. Gladiator, The Fall of Emperor Commodus. In Ridley Scott's epic film Gladiator, the character Maximus Decimus Meridius, played by Russell Crowe, serves as the protagonist against the backdrop of ancient Rome. Although the character is fictional, the film draws inspiration from real historical figures, including Emperor Commodus, who is depicted as a tyrant bent on bloodshed and power. However, the film's narrative inaccurately presents Commodus as having murdered his father, Marcus Aurelius, to seize the throne. Contrarily, Marcus Aurelius and Commodus were co-emperors until Marcus succumbed to the plague. Commodus's reign was filled with violence and conflicts, but he did not face Maximus in the Colosseum as portrayed in the film. Instead, he was embedded in a conspiracy leading to his death, being strangled in the bath by an accomplice. While dramatization is common in historical epics, the inaccuracies in Commodus's portrayal detract from the significant complexity of Roman politics. The David Ferry Confession. Oliver Stone's JFK stands as a landmark political thriller that examines the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. With Kevin Costner portraying Jim Garrison, the New Orleans district attorney, the film includes several real historical figures while weaving a narrative filled with conspiracy theories. A significant scene occurs when Garrison confronts David Ferry, a pilot, an alleged conspirator, in a hotel room. The film presents Ferry as confessing his involvement in a conspiracy alongside figures such as Lee Harvey Oswald and Clay Shaw. In truth, Ferry maintained his innocence and denied ever having met Oswald, despite speculation and evidence regarding their shared Milwaukee connection. Ferry's fabricated admission in the film underscores how entertainment can shape public perception of historical events. By blending fact and fiction, JFK ignites discussions about conspiracy theories, but sacrifices accuracy in its portrayal of characters to heighten tension within the narrative. 8. The Revenant, Hugh Glass and John Fitzgerald. The Revenant brings to life the harrowing tale of frontiersman Hugh Glass, encapsulating themes of survival, revenge, and resilience. The film stars Leonardo DiCaprio as Glass, who is left for dead following a fierce attack by a grizzly bear. It's a story filled with visceral imagery and emotional gravitas but diverges from actual historical accounts in several key details. While Glass does indeed pursue a quest for vengeance against John Fitzgerald, there's no record of him having an indigenous child, an important emotional anchor in the film. The actual events reflect a man driven by survival but do not necessarily include personal vendettas tied to family tragedies. In the film, Fitzgerald's fate is also sensationalized, meeting a bloody end at Glass's hands, while historical accounts suggest Fitzgerald likely passed away due to natural circumstances or other causes thereafter. This dramatization ultimately strays into the realm of revenge fantasy while crafting a visually stunning landscape. The blending of fiction with historical tragedy delivers a powerful narrative but risks overshadowing the real-life complexities at play. Braveheart, The Blue Face Paint Myth. Braveheart, directed by and starring Mel Gibson, takes viewers on a journey through the struggles of Scottish freedom fighter William Wallace. While the film has become synonymous with epic battle scenes and stirring speeches, it suffers from several historical inaccuracies, particularly concerning the portrayal of battle attire. One of the film's most iconic images features Wallace and his troops adorned with blue face paint during the Battle of Stirling Bridge. This artistic choice has become ingrained in popular culture, but it bears little resemblance to actual historical practices. In fact, there's no evidence that Wallace or his men painted their faces with blue dye, often referred to as woad. The filmmakers may have drawn inspiration from the Picts, an ancient group who inhabited modern-day Scotland and were recorded as using such dyes, yet the historical accuracy surrounding this detail remains murky at best. The filmmakers' creative liberties serve to amplify cinematic appeal and contribute to a rousing narrative but significantly detract from the authenticity of the historical representation. Such inaccuracies can shape perceptions of history, leading many to conflate cinematic dramatization with factual occurrences. The Sound of Music, The Von Trapp Family. Finally, The Sound of Music offers a whimsical and romanticized account of the Von Trapp family, their escape from the Nazis, and the eventual rise of Maria as the family's nanny. While it highlights the beauty of music and family bonds, it strays far from the actual experiences of the real-life Von Trapp family. In the film, Captain George Von Trapp is portrayed as a strict authoritarian who initially opposes the existence of music until Maria reawakens his love for it. However, historical accounts indicate that the captain was far kinder to his children and was already involved in their musical education before Maria's arrival. The family's journey was also more complex, including intricate political challenges and personal struggles that the film simplifies for narrative purposes. By presenting a romanticized and lighthearted version of their story, the film diverts from the serious themes of exile, loss, and resilience faced by the actual Von Trapp family during World War II. While it remains beloved by audiences worldwide, the disparity between fact and fiction poses questions about the responsibilities of filmmakers in honoring real histories. Conclusion. In rounding out our exploration of films based on true stories, we can observe that while cinema often seeks to honor the lives and struggles of historical figures, the liberties taken in the name of entertainment can lead to significant misrepresentations. Historical inaccuracies may heighten drama and appeal to audiences but can obscure the complexities and truths that defined real events. These examples serve as reminders that historical storytelling on screen is, to some extent, a reflection of creative imagination. As viewers, it's essential to maintain a critical eye and acknowledge the difference between cinematic dramatization and genuine historical accounts. Movies may bring history to life, but they also possess the power to distort it,